Hey guys, Papa Pete here again today with another pickup video. I've just recently made a trip up to St. John, New Brunswick. Mama C had to go up for work and I went up, dropped her off and took some time to tour around some of the different spots I like to go to pick up retro video games. The place that I had the most luck this time was at the old stomping ground, Beats and Bytes. Both locations, the one on the east side and the one on the west side. So I picked up some great things for my Xbox collection, as well as a couple special things from my Atari 2600 collection, which I never really dreamed I'd be picking up. Anyway, can't wait to share them with you, so stick around.
Papa Pete, the old ass gamer. Papa Pete, the old ass gamer. If you haven't grown up by the age of 50, you don't have to.
Visit IntellivisionCollector.com immediately after today's video because Luke has just restocked the shelves with lots of great homebrew titles. So for not only homebrews, but anything at all for your Intellivision collection, check out IntellivisionCollector.com. Alright, so before we get going, let's open up another craft beer and try it out. This one is from Big Spruce Brewing, Conniption Fit Golden Ale. So I don't think I've ever had this one before. Big Spruce is in Cape Breton, Nova Scotia, over in the island, and they're pretty popular around Halifax and those areas. You see it around in all the liquor stores down there. Let's take a look. This is only 4%. Drinking out of my Brad Keselowski Championship glass. He came in second this year, but this is back from 2012 when he won the whole thing, which was pretty cool. That's right about the time I started watching some NASCAR, and that has got a really nice color to it. Okay, it's a fairly light beer, at 4% especially. Not the greatest flavor I've ever had in the world. There are probably a lot of things I'd rather drink than this. Doesn't taste bad per se, but it really tastes kind of bland, sort of like a lot of the other normal, ordinary, everyday Budweiser, McClay's cheap type beers. I guess it's not bad if you want to have a few of them. But when these things are priced the way they are, I don't know, I think I'm always looking for a little bit more than just than a beer that I could get for 24 for 30 bucks at the liquor store. So, will I get more of these? Conniption Fit. I love the name, but I really don't care for the beer a whole lot. That being said, it's not going to go to waste. On to the video. Alright, so all my pickups today come from Beats and Bytes, which is a pawn shop type deal in St. John, New Brunswick. There's two locations actually in St. John. And I went to both. And the thing I like about them the most, the Xbox selection isn't all that great because, of course, that's dwindling. It's dwindling most places you go now. But they do sell them for a pretty good price. And if you buy at least 5 games, you get 20% off on anything that's $20 and below. So I usually take advantage to get a lot of good filler from my collection, but also to pick up some other pretty good games as well. Thing is, I always take a look at the other stuff when I go in there too, because you never quite know what you're going to find. And the first thing I want to show you are a couple games that I found from my Atari 2600 collection. Very rarely do I want anything that's not complete in box from my Atari collection, but I just couldn't pass up these prices. The first game I picked up, if you get a look right there, is Time Warp. And you might know that that's a Funovision title for the Atari 2600, but in this case, here in Canada, this is the Zellers version of it. It's just an offshoot. Zellers is a former large store. Actually, Zellers was bought out by Target, who then went out of business. So there are no more Zellers stores in Canada, but it was a real prominent. It was the department store in Canada for years and years, like 50 years. And they had their own line, just like Sears had with the Atari 2600. Well, Zellers did too. And you can pick them up here and there. And this one is just like brand new. And I got it for like $5. And the other one I picked up is a copy of this. Can you see that on there? It's really weird artwork, huh? I wish I had it complete in box too. But it's a copy of Freeway. Activision's hit Freeway, again in the Zellers versions. Now, those games themselves, the original games, I don't know about Time Warp, frankly. It's probably worth quite a bit. Freeway isn't worth a whole lot, really. But in the Zellers version, each of these cartridge only are worth $25 to $30. And I got them both for $5 each. They're probably sitting there for a long time, and I just never noticed them. And I thought, well, you know, I usually buy things with only complete in box for my Atari, but it's time to get away from that a little bit. If I can get a deal like that, where I'm getting it for a fifth the list price, yeah, you betcha, I'm going to take it. Oh, and it was $5, plus I bought a whole bunch of stuff, so I got 20% off that, so $4 each is what I paid for them. Great additions to my Atari 2600 collection. So the rest of today's pickups are going to be additions for my Xbox Original Collection. I'm working hard. I really can't wait. I should be getting close to 600 games in that really shortly. I'm well up over 570, and I got a whole bunch right here. And the first one I picked up, everybody's familiar with the first-person shooter Unreal. Well, this is Unreal 2: The Awakening. It's an Atari game, actually, and this one is complete in box. And not only is it in box, it still had the stickers, the Atari stickers, I assume, that they threw in as a perk. So I was really surprised to see those still in the case. And I'm not real familiar with this game, which I'm going to say a lot about these ones, but at the end of the day, I'm very familiar with the Unreal Engine and the Unreal style of gameplay. So first-person shooters, there's tons of them out there, and Unreal is a great name in that genre. Now the next game I picked up is Arctic Thunder. We're in Canada. It's getting to be that season of the year again. Time for some snowmobiling. But in this, it's not only snowmobiling and snowmobile racing, but they're battle racing. They have missiles. They have machine guns. They have all kinds of different things. It's like Twisted Metal on snow. So I haven't played it at all yet, but what a great premise. And this one as well, I checked the list price for it. It listed for about triple what they had it for. It was listed for like $11 American complete, and I got it for $4 Canadian. And it's complete and in very good shape. So really happy to add Arctic Thunder to my collection. Was not familiar at all with that game. The next one is a game I've seen around quite a bit. I often wonder what it was because it seemed more like a strategy type game due to the cover. But I got reading about it a little bit. Classified The Sentinel Crisis. And it is basically another first-person shooter in the line of Tom Clancy games, Rainbow Six, those types of games. So I had seen it around quite a bit. It's just one that I hadn't picked up because either it was in not very good shape or too much money, or maybe the manual wasn't there. But in this case, great shape. I cleaned it up a little bit, and the manual looks beautiful. So I'm really happy to add it to my collection. Finally, now we'll get into a driving series of games, sort of an adventure driving game that we're all familiar with. It's been around for a long time, started off on the PS1, and it's the Driver series. And in this case, it's Driver Parallel Lines. These games are just a lot of fun. I can remember playing the original Driver way back when and trying to get out of that damn parking garage before you could actually start the gameplay. That was the worst part about the game. They always said if you could get out of that, you could beat the whole game, no problem. Whoops, sorry, Go. I scared you, hit the basket. But so many people didn't get out of that friggin' parking garage and they rage quit. But anyway, Driver, it still lived on. I don't think they ever made that same mistake of having the tutorial being the most difficult part of the game. Interesting little lore from days gone by. Now the next game is one I thought I had. I didn't. I looked it up and I didn't. I did not have this game. It's GoldenEye Rogue Agent. I love James Bond. I love James Bond games. Since Sean Connery just recently passed away, I've been working my way up through the different movies. I think I'm watching Diamonds Are Forever right now, so I've watched the first 6, including the one with George Lazenby. And Diamonds Are Forever is the last Sean Connery one before he made Never Say Never Again. Anyway, I don't know why I didn't have this one. It's kind of a neat game, and it's got I like the fact that it goes back. This one even has special characters that you can play with and play against, like Goldfinger, Oddjob, Pussy Galore, and Dr. No, it says right on the back. So it's neat little add-ons like that. And the other thing that's sort of different is you'll often find these games, but I know that this is the actual case that this game came in because it's got a 007% sticker right on it. You don't see that very often. I know I find a lot of games, especially sports games, will have that holographic sticker on it. And you buy the game, and the case actually is from something else. It'll have a totally different hologram on it. But anyway, in this case, GoldenEye Rogue Agent, got to give it a shot for sure. Now, speaking of sports games and holographic stickers, this is NBA Inside Drive 2004 with Shaquille O'Neal on the cover. And Shaq is in this. At this time was in a Lakers uniform. Here's a holographic sticker, and it is the NBA one, so that's also in the original case. You see these so often, all beat to crap, or or not complete at all. And this is not only complete, it's got a case, it's got the inserts, the catalog. It's just beautiful condition. So, I don't know, like for $4, I was more than happy to pick that up. There's tons of different basketball games on the Xbox, as there are for all kinds of different video games. And I liked it better back in this era when there's 3 or 4 companies sort of all making different games for different sports and vying against each other, trying to make the best games possible. We've lost that a little bit nowadays with the exclusivity. Usually there's only like EA Sports that make them. I don't know if there's 2 companies that make basketball games anymore or not. I only have one modern basketball game, and it's a downloadable one for the Switch because it was like $5 for NHL 2K20. So I used to love playing them back in the 90s up until about this era, but I sort of lost track when they started just becoming, the licenses became so expensive, and it became just one, play it our way or don't play it at all. This is back when there's 3 or 4 different versions. Something to be said for that. Now here's a game that's a little bit different. This is for my Platinum Hits collection. I don't know if the whole thing's there or not. It is. There's the disc and the manual. Need for Speed Most Wanted. I have this one, the Black Edition. I don't have the regular edition yet, so I've got the special edition of Need for Speed Most Wanted, and I've got the Platinum Hits version, but I don't have the regular one yet. But that's not all that unusual. Need for Speed. Need I say more? There are so many different Need for Speed racing games, and they add different things into the different types of competitions, and even some combat, I suppose, to a little bit, to a small degree, into the gameplay. So on that note, that's not the only Need for Speed game I picked up. I also picked up Need for Speed Carbon. And again, one of these games that you just don't see in good condition very often. And not only is this in good condition, it's got both manuals. And I say both, I mean it's got the English one and the French one here in Canada, right? But overall, it's in great shape. You can't go wrong with any of the Need for Speed games. They're fun, they're basic. Are there better racing games out there? I dare say there are. There's probably other racing games I'd rather play. But collection-wise, right on. Glad to have it. Let's get back to another thing I was talking about a second ago, and that's the exclusivity of different sports titles. Well, this is back when there's all kinds of different football titles, not just Madden. And this was an Xbox exclusive, meaning it was only released on the Xbox. But here we got NFL Fever 2002. I already have 3 and 4, so this completes my set of NFL Fever games. I can't tell you who's on the cover of that. Doesn't really matter who it is. I should know, but I don't. Anyway, another football game to play. I love trying old football games. But, at the end of the day, I'll take Tecmo Super Bowl probably over anything that was ever released for the Xbox, to be quite honest. Right on. The next one I picked up is one that I'd never really seen before. I didn't recall it. I knew about the X-Men's Legends games, which are sort of battle games, sort of like the Marvel, what's it called? Marvel Nemesis or whatever it is, where you have a group battle game along the Power Stone line. And I thought, oh, this must be one too. It's another X-Men game that I wasn't familiar with, but it's X-Men Next Dimension. And it appears to me that this is more of a straight fighting game. This isn't a game like the Power Stone model at all. So this is really interesting. I am not a huge fighting games fan. I don't even have a copy of Soul Calibur yet when I think about it. But there is some fun to be had there. I really did enjoy Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter, etc., back in the day. And of course the plethora of different fighting games that have been out ever since. Hundreds and thousands of them. But X-Men Dimension. Next Dimension. I wasn't all that familiar with it. And hey, really glad to pick it up. In great shape, too. Here's one that was listed at $3. So I got it for $2.40 or something like that, right? And that is Fight Night 2004. And it is in beautiful condition. So I used to play a lot of good boxing games. This is not a badly rated game, really. It's got all the modern day fighters for 2004, plus the fighters from the past. It says Muhammad Ali in the back, and I can only assume there's more and more. So EA Sports, glad to add it to my collection for $2.40. Now this game caught my eye, and I had never seen it nor heard of it before, and it's a 3D puzzle maze type game. It's called Super Bubble Pop. So is it an Xbox exclusive? It's not an Xbox exclusive, so it was released for more than one system. I'm just not that familiar with it. Back is not very detailed by any stretch of the imagination, so I'll have to check out exactly what it is. I'll say this though, it's in beautiful condition, so that's what I look for most of all when I'm looking for games for my collection. So will I try it out? yeah, I probably will plug it in and try it out because I like to try most all of my games. But I don't know. I play some puzzle games, but I don't know. It'll have to be pretty special to keep my interest very long with so many choices of things to play. How you doing? Huh? How you doing? Comfortable? All right. Next one up is the last, I think, Sims game that I needed for the system that was released. I think there's like 4 different Sims games. And this one is The Herbs Sims in the City. And this is also in this original case, because there it is. There's the holographic logo with the Sims right on it. Basically, it's just more a different means of a different environment for the Sims to live in when you're raising them. And I don't believe there's anything incredibly special about this game. It's just different. And all the Sims games are fun to play. So that's a great addition to any collection. Next up is a game, Tenjou Return from Darkness, which has caught my eye in the store many times, but for whatever reason I never picked it up. Again, it's one of these ones that you see that's often very beat up. And in this case, it wasn't. It's in beautiful condition. Case is great. A fighting game, an action game along the lines of it's not first person, it's along the lines of Jade Empire, Ninja Gaiden, along that line, trying to play upon that Oriental environment and the Japanese environment. And Activision Games, so it's a very mainstream company. I don't think there's anything too awfully special here, but you can be guaranteed to get a nice, solid gameplay. So I'll have to give it a shot. And again, you see it around quite often, so you should be able to pick it up for a really good price. This one is a game that I've looked for quite a while, but again, you don't see it around very much. And when you do, it's not in very good shape. But this one, I actually cleaned the case up quite a bit. Did have one spot back here that I couldn't clean up on the cover art, but it's Star Trek Shattered Universe. And it's a space combat sim. It's more, what it shows here more is about your fleet battles. So that's very interesting, the Star Trek universe. I really enjoy that aspect of it. I don't know, I believe this is the only Star Trek game out for the Xbox. Star Trek seems to be really, really popular, then it lulls away, then it gets more and more popular. It's never going to go away, folks. Star Trek is with us forever, and I really do love Star Trek. Am I as big a Star Trek fan as I am a Star Wars fan? Absolutely not. But I still love Star Trek. I've seen all the movies, watched all the TV shows, at least to some degree, and I even remember playing the role-playing game back in the day. But very, very happy to have this Star Trek Shattered Universe added into my collection. Alright, this next game is based upon a movie, Zethura. And it's a story about 2 kids who get taken out to outer space and they have to have a big adventure to find their way back to Earth. I'm going to tell you this right now, I'm not very familiar with the movie, I'm not very familiar with the game, and the big thing about it that I know the most is when I have my program that I put all my games into, there's only 2 or 3 different games that begin with Z or Z, and I don't have any of them. So when I saw that, actually in decent shape, complete, manual, disc, the whole shooting match, I said, there's my first game that begins with Z. And it was only $5, so I got it for $4 after the discount. So how do you beat that, really? Zethura. Maybe I'll check out the movie sometime. Next up, they had copies of versions 3, 4, and 5 of this game there, but only this one was in very good shape, and that was Dynasty Warriors 5. I'm not at all familiar with this game. It looks like a turn-based type strategy game where you battle out like turn-based fighting adventure game. And I don't know. It's like you see this game, and again, it seems like it's always all beat up when I do see copies of it. And this one, at least the manual was there, and the disc is in good shape. It works. So I just had to pick it up and add to my collection. Is it worth a whole lot of money? No, but I got it for about half price of what it is worth. So, I'll pick up 3 and 4 some other time. 4 seems to be really hard to find. 3 you see, 5 you see quite a bit. 4 doesn't seem to be as common, so I'm really going to be on the watch out for those. I do like games like that, old style, like adventure. It's kind of like the Final Fantasy type game. I could be way off on that, but that's the quick impression I get of this game. So I'll check it out sometime. Really happy to have it for my collection, though. Here's one that I heard about on the PC many, many moons ago, and that is Thief, Deadly Shadows. Not that it was this particular game, but the Thief gaming started, I believe, on the PC, like in the 90s. And it was a fairly prominent line of games that come up through. I don't really see them out very often anymore. But of course, as a Thief, it was more designed for stealth than straight action and fighting and battle, like you would see on a normal first-person shooter. But in any case, this is a medium range, I'd say. Not an absolute common, but not too awfully rare either. But still, a rather hard game to find. Again, I'm going to repeat myself, in great shape. And this one was in excellent condition, disc and manual. So, man, I couldn't pass that one up. Thief, Deadly Shadows, first-person stealth fighter for the Xbox. And I'm so happy to finally add that to my collection. Okay, so I'm down to the last game that I picked up that day. So I got lots, so as you can see. But this one is one that I actually had marked off as being one that I was on the lookout for. Because it is a GameStop exclusive, not available anywhere else. And it's considered to be quite rare. Not super expensive, $15-20, and I got it for less than 15 Canadian. And that is the Disney classic, Ratatouille. We used to have Ratatouille, what was it? I think it was on the Wii or Game Boy Advance, something like that. We used to have a lot of fun playing that. So this seems to be like a mini game type game party game as well. But it's just such a neat collectible to me. Because as you can see, it's marked right here. GameStop exclusive. So you couldn't get it just anywhere. And remember I talked about being in the original cases before? Well, this has a sticker right here for Ratatouille. And it says right on there, free Ratatouille movie ticket voucher. And I thought, what were the chances of that being in there? And if you went and looked, manual's in beautiful shape. And there's the voucher for the movie. So I was really happy to get that. It's like $8, right? So whoever had this game didn't use it. They traded it in at the pawn shop. And I ended up with it. And I'm really happy to get a copy that has this voucher in it. That is just one of these little things that I don't care about most of the inserts that come with games, but when you have something very, very special like that, yeah, I like to have that. Just like those Atari stickers in the Unreal Tournament too. It's really kind of neat to have those little quirks, those little perks that come with them. So Ratatouille, GameStop exclusive, glad to have it. Well, guys, that's it for today's pickup video. What a great lot. Oh, added to my Xbox collection, as you can see, plus a couple wonderful things. Zeller's games, my Atari 2600. I'm going to keep my eye out for these cartridge only for the Zellers. The boxes are kind of bland. They're just the red boxes with the same cover art in the middle. There's not a whole lot to the box, actually. But just to find the cartridge, if you can find them where I'm here in Canada, sometimes you just see them and they're quite cheap when actually they go for quite a bit more money in other locations. So something I'm going to keep my eye out from now on. Anyway, guys, thanks for spending a little bit of time with me today. Don't forget to hit like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you next time because you know I'm going to get some more pickups. Take care.
Papa Pete, the old ass gamer. Papa Pete, the old ass gamer. If you haven't grown up by the age.
Hello, Dali Papka here, and you're watching Papa Pete, the old guy gamer.
What the hell?